Well then, good evening everybody. Welcome to JACKOCAR and the Cup Series. Here we are in Portugal, Portimao, the Algarve, a lovely, lovely part of the world. And of course, the best esports league in esports decided to come here as well. I am your host, Mr. Jacko, tonight joined by the ever rotating commentary lineup that I have, but tonight's turn is Danny Quinn. Good evening, Mr. Quinn. How are you, sir?
Good evening. I'm feeling really good. Of course, I would have loved to have raced here because it's a track I'm fond of, but I'm here with you. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited for, as Lando's described it, it's sort of like a roller coaster, and it pretty much is.
Yes, of course. When Codemasters released this track a couple years ago, we thought, are they going to have the undulation on it? And fortunately enough, they actually did very well, did Codemasters, to be fair to them. And so your analogy there of it being like a roller coaster is, I would say, spot on there, Mr. Quinn. What do we have to talk about this evening? We've got the club card shootout coming up. That's Ben Harrett versus Jordan and Khalifa versus Gareth Hall. No jokers. Pit stop stages, lap 8 and lap 16. Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like Jordan was here, but he was right at the bottom of the timing. I didn't see him down there.
Still in that 93 car is Jordan. That's why he's at the bottom. Here comes then Owen Wyatt out to track. The first of potentially no more than 18 drivers. We are aware that Jamie Griffiths will be joining us late, and Mr. Connor Byers, we think, is asleep, and it wouldn't be the first time. I don't know how you can spend so much time asleep. All he does is flip burgers at McDonald's. He must have time to stay awake for this. But apparently not. Owen Wyatt, he was begging me for the last 3 weeks, make sure I race in Portugal in a couple of weeks' time, because he loves it here. He's a bit like you. And he also gave me the excuse tonight that he can't do commentary because he's lost his voice. But I'm sure we'll hear the video clips back later on. And if he's talking to his ERT teammates, we'll be most annoyed.
There's Jamie again.
Yeah. So
Jamie Numbers is left again.
Jamie Griffiths out at 15:30, so he's only got 30 seconds to get himself ready. Slow out lap here from Owen Wyatt, Danny. Is it because? Go on.
Well, I was going to say, I'm guessing he just wants to get the tyre preparation just right.
I do believe as well, it's one of those tracks where tyre degradation, I can't say it, is quite high. Let me just do one thing very quick, and then we'll go on board for a lap of Portugal. Owen Wyatt is about to get qualifying underway with us as ever. I do not know the corner names, so let's go on board and we'll make it up as we go along. One of the longer straights on the game here as we head down towards turn 1, which is called the Primera corner, I believe, straight into 2 and then 3, which is called Lagos, named after the Nigerian capital. Owen Wyatt locking up the rears as we go up the hill towards turn 4. A lot more traction these days compared to previous games as he whips open the DRS and heads down towards turn 5, which is Torre VIP. That is Portuguese for Owen Wyatt is rubbish. A little kink here for turn 6 before you flick back right for 7. Uphill towards turn 8. Another corner where you've got to be careful of the traction. And then this is where I swept across my rival in One Hub Racing a couple of years ago and almost took him out of a championship battle. We're now into turn 11. Turn 10, by the way, it's called Portimao. I don't know where they got that idea from. As we head down the hill and then back up to 12 and 13. And then it will leave us with Sagres, which is coming up to now, turn 14. Clear enough lap for Owen Wyatt so far, looking good. As ever, he does a good job at keeping us valid when he's first out in qualifying, which is exactly what you want as a lead commentator. This is turn 15, called Gelp, and up to the line, another DRS zone. Owen Wyatt goes on a 1:16.4.
Yeah, it was a very, very good lap there, and now we've got Lesty, I believe, just making his way up to Turn 7 and 8, of course, very tricky. Lift off there, different from Owen. Down to third, very tricky on the traction, but he gets it all right. Now there's multiple lines through these next 2 corners. He's deciding for a middle ground, but carries the speed through. They go for this long left-hander into a sharp one that you want to keep up your minimum speed. Does so. Now you want to gear down to 4 through there, and they can get on the power as early as possible. Full power all the way through this long right, and then into the steep uphill, cross the line. It's a 17.5.
And you don't even know that's uphill when you're driving it. Lesty is the 77th driver to race in the Cup Series, by the way. 2-time race winner in Kia. Went to the Championship 5 last season as well. Didn't win because Yori did. I don't know anything more. Jamie Griffiths isn't here. He was next out, or meant to be next out. Instead, it's Speed Kieran, or Kieran Spears. Bit of a moment there, and he is lucky to be here because there was a fire alarm going off. We're all hoping that the fire alarm was genuine and Kieran be trapped forever. Instead, he appears to be alive and well as young Kieran, the man from Aylesbury, now residing in Huddersfield. He told me not to mention his mum on stream, but good evening, Julie. I hope you're watching. As we come down the hill then with Kieran, and I'm trying to keep a straight face. Making this right-hander is Kieran, who if he missed tonight or misses next week, he would be automatically chase-bound, but he said he doesn't want to be in the chase because Ben Shaw is going to dominate. However, how many times have we said before that somebody is going to dominate the chase and it ends up being somebody else that wins it? Ben Shaw leading the way in the postseason with the 9 playoff points that he currently holds. Kieran goes P2. Next up is young Sullivan Lewis, if I can find him. Here he is, down in P12.
Yeah, just coming through the last couple corners is Sullivan, and he's just, well, didn't get to catch most of the laps, so can't really say whether it was clean or not. Judging by the lap time, it doesn't look very clean. It's an 18.6.
Yep, and here is then, by the way, there's no Connor Byers because he's still asleep, dreaming of flipping burgers at McDonald's, waiting for the big transfer to KFC. But because there's no Connor, it means we're going to get a lap on board of Ben Shaw, 3-time race winner here in Portugal. He got his first race win here, that very infamous race of which Arnaud went early on the restart. And then the second time he won here was when Matthew Redmore led every single lap apart from the last one. And of course he won here most recently as well. So can he get 4 wins tonight? That's his 4th win, I should say. He is now on 10 all time, the most recent race winner this season. JACKOCAR, of course, 13 from 13 across Cup and Kia. And Danny, you heard him in the background there. A little moment for Ben Shaw as he drops down into turn 5. We'll go on board with him because this sector 2, I think, is one of my favourite bits of track. What about you?
Yeah, definitely is. Apart from this next corner coming up, I love all of it. Just this corner is so tricky on traction. You just uphill, very steep. It's almost like the reverse of the corkscrew at Laguna Seca. It's just so difficult.
Of course, Laguna Seca. I think I've said this before on stream. Laguna Seca is obviously world-renowned racing track, right?
Yeah.
I accidentally drove past there when I was on holiday in California, and there's not a single signpost apart from the one outside of it that says to your right it's Laguna Seca. And then I look to my right, and sure enough, there's the entry for it. Ben Shaw, only P2, last week's pole sitter. So yeah, there's a little tourism trip for you. If you're looking for Laguna Seca, make sure you've got good enough internet on your sat-nav, otherwise you'll miss it. Next up is Leroy, who I am struggling to find. There he is, P12. We're going to get half a lap with him, Danny Quinn.
Yes, very nice livery there from Leroy, but we'll just go on back on board and just see how we does through these last few corners, down into second to get a bit more rotation. And you want to stick it in third and get on the power as early as you can. He's all over the exit curb, using as much space as he can. See if he opts for the inside line, a bit of a middle ground. What will it be for Leroy? 17.7, early P5.
Oh, as we join Mike
Ooh.
just at the time that he was spinning there. Careful, Mike, because there's a car there. That was a little bit dangerous. We might just let him off, though, because the car behind definitely had enough time to sort that out. Let me, very quickly, because Mike's lap is ruined, find the standings. Actually, I don't have enough time to do that, so we're going to not look at the standings right this second. We're going to look at the end of Mike's lap. It's going to be bottom, so we will actually move straight to Yori then, as he here is in turn 8. Exit at turn 8. I almost said turn 3. That would have been wrong. Danny, do you know what this livery is? I know he used it for throwback week, but I've forgotten what it is, and I don't know if I like it or not.
No idea, to be honest.
It's white and green. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yori, by the way, his apparently he's got a Belarusian cousin. He raced on Tuesday night, a young 14-year-old who lives on the eastern part of Belarus, and almost won the race. And it was Matt Shepard that ended up winning it. His name was Huri Yazalaga, believe it or not. No relation, other than they are cousins. Next up, Jordan Lane in the fight with Ben Harrett. Who do you see winning that one tonight, Jordan versus Ben?
I mean, both of them are kind of the same, really. When they're both on the pace, they're both very quick drivers, but they are prone to being inconsistent. So I'm really not sure who's got that one. As we see Jordan go up into P4. It's not a bad lap time at all from Jordan.
And speaking to Ben Harrett earlier, he said that he would expect Jordan to advance based on the track that we are at. So maybe keep your eye on Jordan, who, by the way, we say it every week, but we are still waiting for Jordan to win his first Cup Series race. He has one in Kia, though, I believe. And speaking of Cup Series wins, here is a man, Kyle Smith, who has 11 of them, most recently as last season, but hasn't found the form of the early days when he was here in JACKOCAR. But up to the line comes Kyle Smith. I'm sure he'll rejuvenate himself at some point. He goes P3, as we will now move on to Gareth Hall. Danny, do you have anything to say about Gareth?
No. Now we're on to Pete.
Yeah, it really is fascinating to hear what you think about Gareth as he goes P9 there. Really good words from you. Here is Pete, who is the first of the invalidators tonight. I would say water is wet, but he's actually had a good qualifying record this season. So we'll let him off with that, but be sure to watch out for the inevitable spin later on. We are still waiting for Pete to get that first win in, 115 races and counting, unfortunately for him. But yeah, that's Pete with the invalidation. So we'll move on to one of our championship rivals, Waze Cuba. Pardon me, that's wind. Danny, what do you think of Waze in Kia? Because at the start of the season, you could say it's me and you up front. But Waze, he's just started to get his nose in there a bit more. He's got his win now as well in Qatar. Strong championship rival for us.
Yeah, I think you kind of called it early with the seedings. You called it. Well, you did say OKK first. We won't talk about that.
He's getting better though, is okay. It's coming.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
he's
coming.
definitely getting better. But you put Waste third, and that sort of caused a little bit of like disruption in the chat, I'd say. But yeah, he's definitely living up to that. 100% he's living up to that. I'd dare say he's second. In like, if he would go through the seedings again, I'd definitely put Waste second.
What after you?
No, I didn't say that, you did.
No, but I would agree if you did say that. It's just funnier hearing it from you. Waze goes P10, by the way. Next up is Ben Harrott. So the interest is where he qualifies in relation to Jordan, who's P5. But yeah, seeding Waze as third, I don't think it was too much of an ambitious shout. He has always been very, very fast, but lacked consistency.
And racecraft.
Yeah, but this season, I didn't swear. What a lap! But this season, he's putting it together as young Ways. On to the fast four. Here is Arnold. This is tonight's race winner. Like I say, 13 from 13.
He's lagging a bit.
But all right. I'll hopefully make him go a bit faster. But yeah, 13 race winners this season. Arnold carries the number 13 on his car, but coincidentally used to run the number 14 before he got kicked out of that, and he moved to, I believe it was the 91 at some point. But round this final corner comes the Belgian then. Where can he put that car? And he's going to go P2, so he's on the money. Here is Khalifa.
Of course, in the other Tesco Club Card shootout is
Khalifa and Gareth
Hall as well. Gareth not really doing a good showing in qualifying, so you'd expect from the previous races that Khalifa should really have this in the bag. But this is JACKOCAR. Anything can happen. We've seen it happen before, so. Well, I'm not sure with Gareth, but yeah, anything can happen.
And we all thought last week Khalifa was going to bang it on pole, and then he went on to invalidate. He has also given us the bingo card for this week, which we'll talk about in the interim. But to the line comes Khalifa, and that is P1, a new fastest lap here. 2 to go then, and it's Casper who we'll look at first. It's a lovely car, by the way. And that is the Honda Earth Dreams car that Owen Wyatt has said he's wanted in the league for quite some time, and it's been done very, very nicely. His own touch on it, of course, but it's been done very nicely by Casper. There's a voice message in the Cup Series chat from Corey, so I can't wait to listen back to that one. I was wondering what he's on about. Corey not here tonight. I believe he's in a hotel room by himself. Casper getting a toe off of Arnold. Look at this. Will it be enough to drag him to the line in P1? Here he goes. It's only P5. His best qualifying this season is P3, and it leaves us with one man to go, and it's the 2-time champion in JACKOCAR, Jake O'Sullivan. Exits turn 5, gets the power down. He is, by the way, the points leader this season, but only with the one win so far. However, he has had more podiums than anybody else this season, and he's just going along nicely. You thought we brought all these big names back. Corey, Arnold, Khalifa. All the big names are already here. Ben Shaw, Yori, and Sullivan Lewis. But Jake is still ticking away nicely and getting his head down and putting his car where he needs to be. And of course, collecting those playoff points. But can he collect another one here and put it on pole in Portugal? Round the final corner comes Jake O'Sullivan. Is it going to be good enough? His rivals have had toes, but Jake will go P6. So it's not enough, and it is Khalifa on pole once again. And that is for the 20th time in his career. 20 pole positions for Khalifa. And just this season, that's his 5th. So a cracking lap there from Khalifa. But Jake, once again, in the right place. And I tell you what, look at that top 10. That's a perfect top 10, isn't it? with the lack of Pete Knighton, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But all the fast boys at the front is exactly what you want to see. And congratulations as well to Matt Lester, another one of our championship rivals. P11 on debut. You can't go wrong with that. And of course, we are expected to be joined by Jamie Griffiths in the race shortly. Connor Byers looks like he's not turning up, so it's going to be a 19-car grid for Portugal. Not the most amazing qualifying session, but I think it set us up nicely for a good race here, Danny.
Yeah, it really has. Of course, the gaps aren't necessarily too close. Well, in the top 9, it's less than a second. There are parts of it that are very close. Arnold to Casper is less than half a tenth. I didn't get to see the rest of them. Okay. From Jake to Kyle's also less than a tenth. So there's some close gaps there.
Well, let's talk about those gaps, because you mentioned gaps, but other than Owen Wyatt, nobody's within half a second of Khalifa. So they are in order of fastness near enough, but all rubbish, basically. So it is Khalifa from Owen, and Owen Wyatt, will he help teammate Arnold to his first race win of the season? They are backed up by 3-time race winner here at Portugal, Ben Shaw. Then Casper, Jake, his good friend Ben Harrett in P7, Kyle, Kieran, Jordan complete the top 10, and as ever, we don't have time for the ones at the bottom because they're rubbish. I'm going to leave everybody with you for a minute, Danny, and see what Corey's voice message is all about.
Okay. It looks like it is a bit cloudy, the weather. It's going to be interesting to see how everyone goes off the line. Of course, it's probably going to be chaos at turn 1.
Probably. Normally is. Corey's voice message, by the way, I can share this with everyone. Just I'll put this close to the mic here. Hopefully you can all hear. And that is a beautiful execution on that passing of wind. Thank you, Corey. As ever, part of the league. No jokers. That's got you that, hasn't it? If I had time to scroll back through my DMs with one of my friends, I could share you 2 lovely farts, but they're all the way back in April. So we don't have time. Yes, no jokers tonight. But the stage points come at the end of lap 8 and lap 16. This is the penultimate round of the regular season. Of course, if it's not sealed tonight, it will be sealed next week in Austria, where there's usually a handful of guys fighting over a little amount of points just to squeeze into the playoffs or maybe sneak into the chase, either or. And let's see what's going on in the chat here. Jacko's amazing. Quinn is not very good at his job. So yeah, thank you for your support, everybody. And Waze, I believe, has been kicked out of the game. Yeah, so I know what we were going to do. We were going to talk about Khalifa's bingo card, weren't we? We use this really during safety car periods, but let's see what we've already ticked off. I'll tell you what, it's a good one, actually. New regular season points leader. So Khalifa has on there that. Will somebody, Casper being the most likely, will somebody overtake Jake for the regular season points lead? What else we got? New pole sitter. We definitely didn't get that. Khalifa on pole by nearly 2 tenths. And also 3rd red flag in 3 races. Will we get that? The one that I can tick off here, Jacko makes a reference to Kieran's mother. I have already done that. Hello once again to Julie. And that's all we got so far. So we'll come back to that when we get our inevitable safety car. It is JACKOCAR after all, prime time on a Thursday night, round 8 of the Cup Series. And we're very much looking forward to this one. Danny Quinn.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure we've got, just looking through the grid, everyone's tyre selections is quite interesting that we've only got 3 medium runners.
Absolutely spot on that. I'm normally getting asked by Matt Rosamond to put the tyre selection up, and of course he's not here this week. So
what is Gareth doing?
I don't know. You tell me.
He's just stormed ahead.
Gareth doing Gareth things. The fastest man in team speed, no more, leads the way onto the grid here from P14. Warms those tyres up nicely, and we're going to stay on board actually with Gareth and see what his positioning is like, because it is usually
someone spun.
It's usually a bit extreme, is Gareth's positioning. Here come the rest of the field.
Well, there's yep. That was
perfect. Right in the box there from Mr. Hall. Best qualifying this season of, I believe, P12. Nope, I stand corrected, P10. And the car in front of him, what on earth is that? Is that Yuri?
Yeah, that's Yuri.
This is awfully scripted, but it is JACKOCAR.
You see the most normal of the Hasselhagen brothers actually parks it up correctly.
Here we go then. The 5 lights will go out, then there'll be an awful pause.
Oh.
Kieran gets a jump start, but away we go in Portugal. Kieran with a massive lead already as we head down towards turn 1. How's he done that from 10th on the grid? But through they go. Are there any incidents further back? Arnaud is making his way past Leslie. Sorry, that was Iceman. And I think that is Risky in the background getting pushed off as we file through turn 3 and 4. It's Waze who is at the back, of course, got disconnected. And there's front wing debris for, I believe, Matt Lester on his debut. Waze has retired from session, so he is out of this one. And that is turn 5. They've all negotiated that one all right. But the gap up front, Khalifa has retaken the lead from the jump start, and Kieran, who is now under pressure from Owen Wyatt, who I don't believe has ever commentated a JACKOCAR race around here. But to the inside goes Owen Wyatt, and he'll get through on Kieran there, who I don't know what his penalty is, but it'll be fairly severe. These front two dominating already, pulling away, and they will do everything they can to get Arnaud in the lead of this race and on his way to victory and make it 14 from 14, because that's what we all want. But he's being tailed by Casper, so ERT technically running the top 4. Ignore Kieran because he's in the wrong. Jake runs P5, and you got Ben Harrett and Iceman, who had a poor start from what I believe was P4, but that is lap 1 complete, and Khalifa has led that first lap.
Yeah, I believe it's just going to be a drive-through for Kieran, which he's serving now, so that's going to leave him at the back of the grid. But like you were saying, Casper's actually got past Arnaud now, so Casper's obviously not in the know for getting Arnaud a win, because now he's just leaving Jake behind him. He's just left Arnaud susceptible to Jake, and he's literally getting closer and closer by the second.
And the only thing I will say with that is the ERT boys will work together. I imagine that they'll cut that lead at the front and try and, pardon me, that's a burp, get everybody together and try and protect Arnaud from the very fast Jake. There's yellow flags
Pete
further back. Is it Pete? There is the inevitable spin that we were talking about. No front wing on that car. Oh no, there's a front wing. There's just no talent in the middle of it. P17, of course, Kieran there coming out P18. But of course, non-mandatory. Oh no, it wasn't a stop, was it? It was a drive-through. Non-mandatory lap 1 and 2, so you expect everyone to stay out as Khalifa comes round to lead another lap here in Portimao. And by the way, whilst I think of it, fast lap from Casper.
With the fastest lap. Yeah.
He has been very fast all season.
Lap now. Yeah. He's someone who I think has really come into his own on this game.
He has.
And you can definitely see.
He said that he's going to be a lot quieter in the chat this season, which he has done. Yeah. And it sort of enabled him to focus himself. He is a genuine contender for this championship as well, as the leaders all file through. It's still ERT controlling the top 4. But yeah, what I was going to say, Iceman, Ben Shaw, if he finishes, I believe, P15 or better tonight, he will be only the second driver ever to advance onto 1,000 career points. Jamie Wright being the other one who's already done it. So that's quite the feat. The next nearest guy after Ben is Kyle Smith. Lovely helicopter shot. We'll stay with this as we look at Khalifa leading the race. That's a lovely shot, actually. I don't think we've ever had this one.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Great stuff. Why can't we have this all the time, Codemasters, as we see Kyle and Risky battle further back? Those two, actually, they have had issues here before. If anybody has good memory, they'll know that two incidents of the same nature at turn one, Kyle on the inside, Risky on the outside. We have our first pitters, Ben Shaw and Kyle. But here goes Gareth, and he gets through Risky before turn one nice and easily.
This is not going to plan for the ERT boys. Jake has just got past Arnold.
Yeah, here is Jake. DRS assisted move on Arnold. He'll at least retain a top 5 position. It's a little bit skewed. I don't know if Ben Harrett's further back, but yeah, other Ben, so Ben Shaw has already pitted. He knows how to get it done around here. But I wonder if the early stop is the way to get it done tonight. Ben Harrett has certainly dropped back from the leaders there. It seems to be Jake, the only man who can challenge anybody running for ERT, with the exception of Jordan, who's down in P17, 1 stop to his name though. So there they are, Ben Shaw, Yori, Kyle, Jordan and Leroy. As we see Jamie Griffiths.
Oh. Not sure what happened there between those two, but Lesty was off in the gravel.
Caught the end of it there. Lesty rejoining. It seemed to come from Mike Kelterborn and Jamie Griffiths. Those two fighting once again. You'd love to see it. Closest battle on track, though, I think, is for the lead at the moment, and they're dragging Casper into this as well, as we see Sullivan Lewis pit from P8. Look at this train. But have you noticed, though, Danny, from the opening laps, where Owen and Khalifa were pulling away, they have indeed dropped back, as I said they might do, to stop Jake from pulling away from Arnold. So this is bringing Arnold, or keeping Arnold in play, but he's definitely the slowest of the front 5.
Yeah, definitely is. But what these boys are doing up front is helping, but they just got to be careful, because if they're going too slow...
Hold on a second. Here goes Jamie Griffiths down the inside of 7. You're not going to do it there, are you? Maybe turn 8, but he thinks better of it on MK Bourne. Mike, I think, has some sort of problem, but Jamie Griffiths can't quite get round him just yet, and Mike defending really well, as you'd expect. But down the inside again, Jamie Griffiths, good on the brakes that time, and gets away to fight another day. It looks like it's going to be an easy move when they get to the main straight, but Mike is awfully slow at the moment, and it's really hampering Jamie's race in the early stages, as we see Casper pit from 3rd. Jamie Griffiths up the inside, can't get the traction down as quick as he would like to, and it will mean Mike gets the better out of the final corner. But here comes the DRS then. This is also the restart zone for later on. Will it be an easy move for Jamie? He pulls to the right. Mike doesn't defend it, and they'll head down towards turn 1, and that is job done for Jamie Griffiths. So yeah, sorry to interrupt you there, Danny. But that was a move that was looking awfully dangerous.
There's been a move for the lead. Owen gets past Khalifa. But look at Arnold. He's outside of DRS range of Jake.
Yes, he is. Who led lap 5? Was it Khalifa? One would assume it was Khalifa.
Yeah. Oh, Pete. What are you doing, Pete? Just comes out of the pits, and he's got Kyle and Lesty all behind him.
Lesty making a good move there.
Pete. Yeah, but Kyle's got DRS as well as Lesty.
And he's going to go up the inside of... Yeah.
That's Lesty going for the double.
And he's done it as well.
He completed the double. That was an excellent move there from Lesty.
And what a way to introduce yourself to the Cup Series, Matt Lester. Fantastic move on Pete Knighton, the Season 1 champion, and Kyle Smith, a man who's been to 3 or 4 Championship 5s, has 11 race wins to his name. That's the way to do it. Fantastic stuff. We see Mike Kelterborn pit and pick up a penalty at the same time. Not going too well for him this evening. We're going to go back to the lead then. Owen has just broken away a little bit from Khalifa, but he's not too far away, as he did indeed lead lap 6, but it has bought Jake up into third, obviously with Casper's stop. Casper coming out ahead of, who was our reference? Nobody, because he's the first of the top 5 to pit as he went on to mediums there. More pitters then further down. But this...
Yeah, I'm unsure of what the gap or what the time loss is in the pit lane, but this could be very good for Casper. Pitting early, of course, there could have been a few more laps in it for him because of, obviously, these guys are still going ahead. And just looking at the lap time from Owen here, on the mediums it's a 1:21. I wasn't sure I couldn't catch what it was on the others, on the soft runners, so I'll get on board with Gareth and see what his time is. 21:3, so yes, it is Owen compared to Gareth, but it does look like the mediums at this point had a better tyre.
And that would be expected at a high deg track like Portimao. The softs will be better later on, which makes you think that if Owen is doing the double medium with a soft run at the end, that he is best positioned to win this race. It's a shame for Casper, because if the early stop does work out for him, I feel like he's going to be left vulnerable later on. Speaking of vulnerable people, Arnaud de Grief struggling by himself down in P4, 3 seconds off the lead now, running his own thing, lest he picks up a penalty, most unfortunate. But yeah, we will need to keep our eyes on Casper and see where he comes out in relation to these guys. It is, by the way, going to be a stage point at the end of this lap. Owen Wyatt doesn't need the playoff point, but he has 13 this season. Will he let teammate Khalifa collect a free stage win? The answer is going to be no, as we get our first safety car of the evening. And that is for Pete Knighton.
For Pete, yeah. He's completely lost his front wing, I think.
Arnaud Pitts. Arnaud Pitts.
Yeah, so that's obviously a mandatory stop there for Arnaud, as well as Ben and Gareth. Of course, when the safety car came out, I don't think any of the top 3 were actually in a position to make it work, but what this has done is, well, really screwed it up for Casper.
Yeah, it's actually the bit of luck that Arnaud needed. You are right, he does have a bit of lag as well. But yeah, this is good for Arnaud. It does make you wonder, are Khalifa and Jake going to throw away their safety car pit stops now? I feel like they have to stay on strategy, but of course they then lose the luxury for later on in the race, something that you and I utilised very well in Miami, in Kia earlier this season. But Owen is the interesting... Did you know
after that race we won 2 in the championship?
I did actually. You know, we were really good. Dominated it. I guess we can tell that the good folk watching as well. I don't know if you paid as much attention to as I did, obviously being a bit more involved with the league. I didn't know of one other person that week who did or enjoyed practice or was looking forward to Miami. You and me were the only ones. Yeah. And sure enough, we were 1 and 2, and I got a well-deserved victory.
Well,
anyway.
Yeah, you definitely deserve to win that. I had a gearbox issue going through the last corner, so...
Yeah, that was it. What happens to Owen Wyatt now is going to be very interesting. What does he do? He will pit. Does that mean Casper will lead the lap?
Oh, Jake. Jake hasn't pitted.
Jake hasn't pitted. I'm just going to VAR myself here very, very quickly. And the reason for that is I just want to confirm who led the lap. Was it Owen or was it Jake? It was Jake. And the reason I paused the commentary to do that is so that I don't have to go back later on and watch the race back and listen to our voices, Danny. So, apologies, viewers. But yeah, that saves all the hard work later on. So interesting. Jake has his safety car stop in hand, but is 1 stop down to Casper. Arnaud is currently best placed to win this race, I would say. And of course, Ben Shaw, yeah. It certainly mixed it up, hasn't it? Because Owen and Khalifa, that's hurt them.
Right back, yeah. Or maybe it's tactical from those to get Arnaud as close to the front as they can.
Maybe. It's yeah. This is going to be one of those races, isn't it? A strategy-focused race, because I really don't quite know what's going to happen here. But I'm fascinated with the setup. Early stoppers, by the way, is everybody. So everybody here. Not sorry, I'd be telling a lie if I said that. A lot of drivers have already stopped here. Some under safety car, but people like Ben Shaw, Sullivan Lewis, Ben Harrott, all have the safety car stop in hand for later on in the race should they need it.
Yeah.
The man who is really up against it now is Jake O'Sullivan, I would say, and also Owen and Khalifa, because they are going to have to do it the hard way from P15 and 16 in this field.
Yeah, it's
nice voice crack, by the way. We did notice that.
It's very interesting, the fact that safety car's still out because of a certain Pete Knighton out there.
It's funny, actually, because some say he crashed on purpose. He released his inner Kieran from Season 4, Championship 5, and brought out the safety car to regather his race. Because that's what it looked like. But we'll let it slide, I'm sure.
Or he's doing the tactic that you've used in the past, just creating such a big gap that he can just pit on the safety car and it won't come in.
Maybe.
Or getting right to the back of the pack, the safety car's still out, and then pit. A tactic that you've employed many times.
I've done a few things in my career as an online league racer, of which many of them we are not going to talk about this evening. I actually briefly touched on it in qualifying here. It was Portugal, one hub race in season, I don't know, 18, 19, maybe 21, something like that. It was not Rage Man. His gamer tag was Whooping Proverb. It was him versus some other guy who I didn't like. He was a tit all season. And it went down to the final race, which was Portugal. And I made his life awfully difficult with certain moves that wouldn't be acceptable in most leagues. So yeah, love a bit of controversy, I do. I love controversy as much as you love crashing out of races. But anyway... He likes that. Jake O'Sullivan is going to lead us for the restart. He complained earlier to me about the new rule we're testing, but of course if you're leading, the rule makes no difference because it doesn't affect you. So will Jake get this sorted? You'd like to think he would. Two-time champion, knows what he's doing. Orange barrier on the left, infamous with Arnaud de Grief, and away we go. Back underway in Portimao.
Restart for Ben. It's a very good restart for Ben Shaw. It's going to be 3 wide. Oh, nearly 3 wide. But Arnaud stays ahead, actually.
I can't help but feel Ben Shaw was slightly affected by Arnaud's lag, which does appear to be getting worse as well as the laps tick away. But yeah, on the run up to turn 5.
Very close. Yeah, Casper's getting very close and Jake's gone wide, but it is a preferred line, I believe, through that corner. So, yeah, he's piling on the pressure. It's Casper. Whoa!
Casper's been tagged from behind.
He's been tagged.
I wonder if that was Arnaud or if it was Casper locking up the rears. He did slide for a while, and Ben Harrott now at the inside of Casper. Former teammates, these two, but Casper doesn't have the grip to hold it around the outside. Ben Harrott slides through. The man, 5th in points, and carry on his good form he's had all season. Kieran, by the way, after his antics on the start, is P6.
Arnaud into the lead now.
And new race leader.
Of course, these soft tyres are not very happy with Jake at the moment, as he dives into the pits.
I totally get it.
Yeah, he gets it stopped just in time, and it looks like he's going on to medium tyres.
Makes a lot of sense that what Jake's doing, because it does bring him back into play. If a safety car comes out later on, he still has that stop to use. Casper and Ben Harrett still fighting. Kieran goes around the outside of Ben Harrett. Fantastic move. Fire alarm still going off in Huddersfield, but he's flying, is Kieran now. Great move there. Casper, Iceman, Arnold, the top three. And Owen Wyatt, well, there you go, picks up a penalty. Owen Wyatt, by the way, had his Cup Series debut here a handful of seasons ago. And he ended up being P3 that day. Arnold leads the way, and Iceman, three-time race winner here. Yellow flags further back. Who's it for, though? Lesty around.
It looks like Lesty and Mike.
It is Lesty and Mike. There they go. Yellow flags and nothing more. Play on, says the referee. Jake O'Sullivan has come out last, as you would expect, but you don't expect him to finish there because he is absolutely rapid as he exits turn 8 and flicks left into turn 9. Let's go back to the lead, and Arnold has developed a 1.8 second lead over rival Ben Shaw and leads
Kieran's
his second lap of
run.
the day. Here goes
might
Kieran.
End up second here.
Wow, double overtake from Kieran Spears, the Season 5 champion. Season 6 champion, I should say. But Casper comes back through, and they demote Iceman to P4. Brilliant racing from these guys, keeping it clean as well in high-speed turns like 1 and 2. Fantastic to see. But there's going to be more DRS here. Actually, there won't be DRS, but here goes Kieran for a move on DRS. P2, and up he goes and finds his way in. So now the front two leading this race are people who are yet to win a race this season. It's perfect for the storyline that JACKOCAR creates once again. Into turn 8 they go. Ben Harrett hanging on to P5 and Kyle is P6.
Both Kieran and Casper there had a little bit of a snap at the top of the hill with turn 8. But they managed to keep it going.
Casper waiting for his moment as well. He could have sent it down the inside, but thinks better of it. He's playing the long game and thinking of the DRS that is to come his way very, very shortly. Owen Wyatt and Kyle Smith fight it out for P6. It's Kyle who sends it down the inside. He's not going to give that up that easy. But Owen, with a better traction on the outside, regains 6th, and away he goes on his charge to get back to the front of race. He's already led for 3 laps so far this evening, but further back or further up the field, it's Casper versus Kieran once again. Casper, he's too far back. He's lifting off before turn 1, and Kieran has sustained the first attack. We see Pete Knighton, who has recovered to P11 on the restart. Yellow flags for Risky, who spun on the inside of turn 2. A classic place to go. Has he recovered okay? He's going to block what is Jordan, and that's going to bring Jamie Griffiths into the battle here.
Yeah, looking at how it's looking for the Tesco Club Card shootout with Khalifa against Gareth, they are right next to each other on track. And then you got Ben Harrett and Jordan, of course. They are more separated, but it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out between Gareth and Khalifa for the last, this is the semi-final with the Tesco Club Card shootout.
Yeah, it is, as we see Iceman and Owen now fighting each other. Go on, Ben. Don't let him have it that easily. Owen Wyatt, though, makes it look that easy, and up into 4th he goes. He's slowly making his way back to the front. 2.3 second lead for Arnold, but Ben Shaw will have the DRS. Let's go on board as he's going to retake P4 here, the king of Portimao. But what about Ben Harrett, who's going to split them down the middle? Ben Harrett up the inside. He goes into P4. A little bit of Ben on Ben action. That's what we love to see. But now Owen Wyatt trying to get involved here. But Ben Harrett has done a fantastic job and leads the way, but now won't have the DRS to defend. And here goes Owen Wyatt, who once again, it makes it look easy down into turn 5, and Ben Shaw has to queue up behind his namesake. Fantastic bit of racing over those last 5 corners, and Owen Wyatt, I'll say it again, is now back on his charge towards the lead as Arnold has extended his lead to nearly 2.7 seconds. Fantastic to see.
Yeah, Casper's just sticking behind Kieran, and he really He's not really pushing at all because the gap to Owen behind is 2 seconds. But I just want to bring the attention, Gareth has actually overtaken Kyle, so now there's a buffer between himself and Khalifa.
A legit buffer as well, that is, because they have both made one stop. It is also, I should point out, lap 16, and that is another stage point for Arnaud de Grief, so a playoff point for him, a playoff point he dearly needs. Another lap led as well for the Belgian as he looks to try and win here in Portugal in the Algarve. But Iceman finally getting past Ben Harrah, who's shoved off wide. Great JACKOCAR style racing from these two. You absolutely love to see it, but Ben Shaw, I should say, very much part of that top 5 and looking to try and get back towards the front. Weaving left and right. Ben Harrah has no answer this time around. Gareth leads from Khalifa, who is now past Kyle as they exit turn 5, head into turn 6. And through they go. Of course, what's going to hamper Owen here is that 3-second penalty. Of course, Arnaud as well, now up to 3.3 seconds of lead, and Casper very close to Kieran once again, whose back end is as loose as my arse about an hour ago, but he manages to keep it on track. Don't make me laugh, Daddy. Goodness sake, but Casper having similar problems as he tries to get the power down. Will we see a pit stop here for Arnaud? He started on the softs, he's leaning towards the right, although I think that might be the lag. He stays out, does Arnaud.
And Casper's still about the same distance away as he was before, but it looks like he may go for the move here down the inside. Kieran doesn't have an answer, looks for the switchback, but Casper gets the move done, and P2 for Casper. 3.7 the gap to Arnaud though.
My apologies to everyone that I'm not watching that, but the battle for 5th has heated up because Ben Shaw has been made to look a mug by Gareth Hall, and Khalifa pushing Ben now. Let's go on board with Khalifa. Is it going to be a double overtake? Gareth puts him on the grass, but down the inside goes Khalifa. Is it going to be 2 and 1? Yes, it is. Fantastic move, but Ben Shaw doesn't have the traction, and Khalifa is now looking towards Austria next week and being in that club card shootout final, but this looks far from done, doesn't it? He's now back behind Owen in P4. Penalty, by the way, for Casper that we missed, as he is now tucked right up behind Kieran again as Arnaud extends his lead. We are a little over halfway through this race now. And what's the situation? Gareth has been repassed by Ben Shaw in the events that led down towards turn 5. Kyle, despite all the guys that have overtaken him, still finds himself P8. Aguri and Risky complete the top 10, and Jordan has very quietly made his way up to P11.
Yeah, and he's ahead. He is ahead of Ben Harrah, but of course he's made his second stop. I believe he has. So unless Jordan's trying to go for a soft for his final stint, as Kyle decides now is the time to come in off 15 lap old mediums.
Yep, there are the stops, by the way. So everybody has done 1. Kyle has now done 2 and is the first person to complete the mandatory amount in the specified time. So back to tyres. Jake, you would have just seen, has picked up a 3-second penalty and has just about made his way up to P12, now soon to be P11, but is making very good inroads, I should say, despite that late stop. The gap with Arnaud has not increased over this last lap, as Kieran and Casper battle away for P2, not letting Owen...
Owen isn't too far behind him.
Not too far, but he's been stuck there for a little while now, has Owen. And I just wonder what his plan is. Will he break away and come off strategy versus these guys? He will have DRS, as does Casper. Is Kieran going to be a sitting duck here? Looks like he might be as we head into turn 1. Casper gets aggressive this time, goes up the inside, makes the move stick. Let's go back with Owen Wyatt. What can he do as he goes down the inside of 3? Kieran would have seen it late and is just about going to have enough room to defend and keep the Northern Irishman behind, but another dose of DRS for Owen Wyatt as he goes down towards turn 5, and it's going to be job done this time around, and he can follow his ERT teammate through. Owen Wyatt and Casper Klein up into second and third. Finally, they've been stuck behind Kieran for some time now. Arnaud's gap also up to 4 seconds, but you can see that one coming down now, can't you? The two fastest guys that we've seen in this race are now right behind him.
Yeah, Casper still has the fastest lap. He's the only person in the 118, so you have to say Casper's the fastest person. That is
Jamie Griffiths. Is that a reset to track? Mr. Quint, note that one down for me. Lap 20, reset to track, question mark. Jamie Griffiths. We'll have to go to VAR later on to confirm that. Of course, reset to tracks, they are a 30-second penalty. Back to the lead. Arnaud sustaining 4 seconds. And here is Owen and Casper still fighting over what is P2. Owen to the inside. Reverses the move that Casper did a lap ago on Kieran. We see Leroy falling down the order. He's in the wall and disqualified from the race here in Portimao. It means the safety car won't come out as Jake moves up to 9th. And there's yellow flag still out. I think it's just localised. It is. So yeah, no safety cars. But what happened to Leroy there? We missed it. But at the same time as well, missed in all of that, Kieran picked up his first 3-second penalty of the evening. Lesty and Jordan pitting, which promotes Pete Knight into 14th. We've missed Khalifa pitting as well, as he is now back down to 13th. Remember, he was fighting for 5th only a few laps ago. Those yellow flags, by the way, are not leaving. I assume that the car of Leroy was stuck there, but it's now gone as we go on board with Arnaud, and so up to the barrier on the right is where Leroy was. So yeah, that's why the yellows were there for ages. Lovely bit of lag from Arnaud, Belgium's finest.
Owen decides now is the time to pick. Casper stays out and Kieran's in as well. So the two soft runners out of the top 4 both in. Now everyone, you'd think, well, these guys might go on to... Oh, Kieran didn't pit. What am I talking about?
Useless.
Owen.
So Owen Wyatt has
on
put
the softs. Yeah.
Softs on, so 11 laps on softs should be all right, shouldn't
he did just do 12 laps on that previous set. So 11 won't be too bad, but it will drop off towards the end of that stint.
You'd like to think what he's hoping for is everybody else to pit and then a safety car come out and then he can get another pit stop in whilst he's worked his way back up the order. That's his thinking there, as Jake is P7, don't forget, still has to make a pit stop. And also Sullivan Lewis now with a 3-second time penalty. Arnaud's lead has gone back to 4.7. That's the biggest it's been, actually. So good for him. And then Yuri running P6, the highest he's run all night. Gareth is 5th. Iceman back to P4. King of Portimao. Interesting fact for you here, Mr. Quinn. I've got to keep it a little bit PG, but where Ben Shaw has King of Portimao in his bio, that managed to attract the attention of a young Portuguese lady, to which he has now had doings with. All because of his Twitter bio. So there you go. You see Arnaud give the lead up from Casper, or to Kieran, I should say.
I did not know that fact at all.
Did you not know that? Absolutely genuine. No.
Well, yeah, it looks like Arnaud is actually, well, he's right on the back of Jake and Yuri.
That's a good sign for Arnaud then. So I'm just doing a quick VAR check to confirm that Arnaud did indeed lead lap 22.
Oh my God. Wait, Arnaud?
Oh, you're joking. What an absolute tit, as Owen Wyatt now has the net race lead. Silly move from Arnaud. We missed the spin, but we know exactly what happened. And of course, those tyres will be hot. Yuri picks up a penalty for going wide and letting Arnaud through. Has he let him through? He has now. But yeah, that's given Owen Wyatt an easy go at this. It puts Arnaud P2, net P2.
Yeah, Casper's down in ninth, so he's even behind. He's very much behind
Kieran pits, by the way.
Arnold, and yeah, he's very far behind Owen. Is Casper? He's about nearly 4 seconds behind Owen, and Owen's getting a move done on Jake, and he's got the fastest lap as well.
Good stuff there from Owen. I'm just confirming now who led lap 23. It was Kieran. He becomes another leader of this race. That's 5 leaders so far, but now your king, everybody, is the 6th leader of the Portuguese race here in JACKOCAR.
Well, if he decides to pit this lap, it might not.
Depends what Gareth does, but we know Gareth will stay out just to lead a lap. That's a trait that he and I share. No more stage points, of course, so it is just a matter of picking the right time to pit. Ben Shaw, I believe, along with Gareth, do have the safety car pit stop in hand, so they'll drag those tyres for as long as they can. Gareth has actually put himself in quite a good position, sort of gone unnoticed by us. Khalifa sits in P10. And Kieran is on the back of Sullivan Lewis. Let's go on board for this one, because it looks like it's going to come very, very soon. Sullivan gives him the room, but Kieran runs out of bravery. And through he goes. But that was a gift from Risky there. Iceman did indeed lead that lap 24.
Yeah, now got a move done on Jake there, so now he's got just about a 3-second gap to try and make up to Owen.
That same 3-second gap that is currently being held by a penalty. So are now just shy, but now just inside of the penalty window of Owen Wyatt. So maybe it's still on. Everybody at JACKOCAR wants 14 from 14. That's all I'm going to go on about. Find me another league that's had 14 consecutive winners. I think TGP might be the only rival to that. But he's had his spin, got rid of the nerves, says Arnold. Maybe it's what he needed. If he just gets his head down now, you'd like to think he's on his way as Iceman and Gareth continue to lead here in Portugal. By the way, it should be noted, last week, Khalifa... it was Ben Shaw, with his 24 laps led in Monaco, put him on 300 laps led all time. One of the big names now.
Kieran with the fastest lap in 0 put at least 2 attempts, sorry, on Owen's lap, so that's good going for Kieran there. Having a look at the stops for everyone, we've still got a few people, well, only 3 people who haven't made their stops, which is Ben Shaw, Gareth Hall and Jake there. So yeah, once the top 2 make their pit stops, it's going to be Owen in the race lead. That is yellow flags. I believe that is Risky.
Sullivan, yeah, he's gone round again.
Yeah. Luckily he's still going, and he's got Yuri now for company right behind him. Yuri going for a wider entry, get a better exit, and he's right on the back of Sullivan. He's going to get moved done on the inside. And that is going to be P14 for Yuri.
You saw Yuri winding that one up on the entry into turn 3, didn't you? And it turns out to be a good move from the Dutchman. As we see... Owen.
Not sure what's... Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Gareth pitted.
I'm not sure what happened to Gareth there, because Owen was already past him before, and that is Jamie Griffiths, who has spun at the top of the hill.
Turn 8. Well, what happened to Gareth, by the way? He pitted. That's why Owen got past him. And Owen, by the way...
Owen was past him before he even got into the pits.
Oh, was he? My apologies. Yeah. Everybody still on the lead lap? Jamie Griffiths at the back. Has he completed strategy, Jamie Griffiths? Yes, he has.
He has.
Let's go back to that. There we go. So we won't follow him for too much longer as it's quite boring. P17. If you finish though, you get a single point, which could be useful. You never know. Back to the lead then. And Owen did extend that gap to sort of 4.5 seconds. Arnoud's brought it back down a little bit. But Owen eating into this lead of Iceman's. Maybe not his day-to-day, the way things are going. But of course, don't forget, Owen has the oldest soft tyres currently. Arnoud has an extra lap less, but has Casper for company now. I wonder how Casper's dealing with the lag in front of him. And Kieran's having a good race, by the way.
Yeah, this lag is really throwing me off from Arnold, so I'm not sure how Casper's feeling about this.
Yellow flags again, and Jamie Wright is out.
Jamie, safety
car. So
that's
perfect.
Played out perfect. Well,
I feel like
it doesn't really matter that. What's his name? It doesn't really matter that Ben saved his safety car stop because
it's perfect.
Everyone else has made their stop.
Yes, but
yeah,
unfortunately, Danny,
he's gonna have the race lead.
No, unfortunately, it's a track where track position doesn't really make too much difference. So I feel like Owen White will be a sitting duck. He'll be a sitting Northern Irishman. On those old
Sitting dog.
It's a good boy. So you'll see Ben Shaw pit and Owen Wyatt pits as well. That's exactly what I was going to say before you distracted me. Arnoud de Grief, what do?
He stays out.
You stay out. Big choice made by Arnoud.
Well,
look at everyone behind him. I get it, but not here. Because look at everybody else behind him.
Yeah, everyone else is pitting it out, yeah.
And by the way, Jake O'Sullivan, masterclass in pitting after the safety car in stage 1, and now means he can pit during the safety car here. He is back in contention. Pete Knighton also back in contention. Look at that, P4 for him, sir. But yeah, Arnoud, I don't know if that's the right move. I really don't. I don't think it is. I think your race winner is this man here, Ben Shaw. 4 from 4.
Well, yeah, because Owen's got that penalty.
Yeah. And
I'm not sure what...
They'll be very, very aware of that.
I'm really not sure what Peter's doing, just not pitting. Because he's in an even worse situation than Arnold now, because he's on 11 lap old mediums. And everyone else is going to be on fresh softs.
Yes, sorry, I'm just doing another VAR check. For the leader of lap 28, it was Iceman. So, Jamie Griffiths, will pay you later because this is the perfect safety car for us. Big mistake from Arnoud and Pete, though.
If we go back, look at the Tesco Club Car Shootout. Gareth in P6 is beating out Khalifa.
He's beating
at the moment
the 12-time race winner and season 3 champion Khalifa. Gareth, of course.
Then we've got
who lucked into his winnings. I almost said Silverstone, Monza, a couple seasons ago. And the other one, yeah, as you say, Danny, Ben Harrett versus Jordan. They're very close on track, sandwiching young Khalifa there, who's against Gareth.
Yeah, so it's going to be very close between Ben and Jordan, but Khalifa's got a lot of work to do to get up to Gareth.
And there's going to be a lot of fighting as well. So there's Pitters here. Sullivan Lewis going on for fresh softs. Softs or mediums? Mediums by the looks of it. It's a very long stop. See the
Don't
viewers.
know why he's gone for mediums.
Maybe that's the only fresh tyres he had. But yeah, the viewer
Yeah,
count's starting to
true.
go up here towards the end of the race. If you have tuned in late, you're in for one of those classic JACKOCAR finishes. We will restart, I assume, at the end of this lap, giving us a 3-lap dash to the finish. Arnaud and Pete Knighton, first and fourth. Pardon me, that's a burp. They have made an awful mistake by staying out. Everybody else, pretty much everybody else, on fresh softs.
It's like me at Qatar in Kia Series.
By the way, do you want a funny stat? The last time Arnaud led here in Portugal, he got disqualified from the race result due to a restart infringement, which gave the man behind him, Ben Shaw, the race victory. History can, sometimes does, and maybe might repeat itself once again here in JACKOCAR. But we are going to have one more lap behind the safety car as it happens. So all this does is it does help Arnaud, but can he hold on for 2 laps, because it's going to be a green-white checkered finish here in Portimao, and we wouldn't want it any other way. Only JACKOCAR can provide drama like this.
We've got another pitter as well, Yuri.
Totally get that.
He's on 4-lap old. He's gone for a used set of softs, which the joint second oldest softs on the grid now.
They're still fresher than Arnaud's. Maybe Yuri can go from 16th to 1st in 2 laps.
I mean, we've seen crazy things happening here before, but nothing like that in 2 laps of racing.
I know somebody who went from 13th to 1st in Saudi Arabia in the Kia Series. Good, solid, well-deserved win that was. Quickly changing subject. It was me. Quickly changing subject. The colour next to the driver name and position. We often complain about that being just like black, 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 black. A few purples, dark blues and whatnot. But tonight, look at the rainbow that has been formed by the front runners here. It's lovely on the mini-map.
It's dark blue, light blue, green, orange, yellow. Well, orange, red, sorry. I'm clearly colourblind.
There's lots of colours there, everybody. Anyway, time to get serious for 2 laps, because Arnaud de Grief has now taken control of the pack. Like I said, we are in for a green-white checkered finish. It's Arnaud from 3-time Portimao race winner Ben Shaw. Owen, Pete, Casper top 5, Gareth, Kieran, Jake, Kyle and Ben Harrett complete the top 10. Arnaud, don't get this one wrong. He is going to rely on 8-lap-old softs and a little bit of lag to try and win what would be his 12th victory in the Cup Series. It's over to Arnaud, and it's going to be 2 laps to go here in Portimao. Once he gets us underway, orange barrier on the left. No mistakes this time around, and there's a cracking start from Arnaud as the cars fan out further back. Here goes Casper on Pete Knighton straight away. What will be for P4? Owen Wyatt around the outside of Ben Shaw, but there's nothing doing there. The inside of turn 3, and they make contact here. Ben Shaw gets away from Owen Wyatt. Don't forget, Owen and Casper have those penalties to be added. And Iceman, can he keep Owen behind him here? Owen back to the inside, and they make contact once again. No front wing for Owen. He is out. 3-second time penalty for Iceman. The next man without a time penalty on track is Gareth Hall, chasing his best result of the season as Arnaud looks to extend away from Ben Shaw. Don't forget, guys, 3-second penalties, even if not deserved, are not removed. So Ben Shaw is going to have to pull out a rabbit out of his hat or a dog from his arsehole if he wants to win this race. Casper chasing in P3, and Gareth, can he maybe get involved if something happens to the front 3? Kieran is 5th, and the rain is falling here in Portimao. Drama once again as Arnold continues to lead. He's done a fantastic job on the restart, but can he do it for one more lap around as it's one to go here in Portimao? And there he goes. Ben Shaw will take the lead on track. Casper is going to come with him. What will Arnold do into turn one? He's taken a defensive line. He's going to run wide, and will Ben Shaw throw it? No, maybe it's Casper that will throw it. And there's a spin.
Oh, no.
And Arnold has turned around, but Casper takes the lead. Kieran sneaks into third. What is going on here? Run awfully wide by Arnold there. You would like to think that Casper's going to slow everything down and get Arnold in place to win. Gareth is through into P2 and currently is on course to win this race. Here comes Jake with a time penalty, don't forget. Gareth, surely not. He's not going to win it here, is he? Jake O'Sullivan in turn 8 thinks about the bump and rumbers a little bit too soon. Casper will try and win his second race of the season and break the streak that we've had going for 13 races. As we see Khalifa make his way up to P6 ahead of Ben Harrett now. But a little moment there for Casper and Gareth. Can he do the unthinkable? We never imagined this coming into this evening. The gap is actually closing, and Jake O'Sullivan is not close enough to make a move on Gareth. All he's got to do is get it round this corner. Casper Klein will cross the line in P1, but Gareth Hall, the unexpected, the unthinkable, the fastest man in team speed. He wins in Portugal. It's 14 from 14. Casper is third. Casper is second, Khalifa is third, and Jake O'Sullivan fourth once again. Pete Knighton on his 16 lap at Old Mediums is P5. Drama in JACKOCAR. Unbelievable scenes. We've had it all here this evening as the rain starts to fall, but it's Gareth who will stand on the top step. What a night. Wall of Champions, it says on his car. Maybe Gareth is going to a Championship 5 this season. What a race, Danny Quinn.
Oh my god, just like, I'm not sure what the guys at the front were doing. They were just, it looked like Owen was just trying to completely take out Ben, so, well, yeah, that's about right for Gareth. Yeah, it just looked like Owen was just trying to, well, take Ben out of contention for the race win. But then Ben just completely returned the favour and smashed into Arnold.
Unbelievable, isn't it? There's going to be some words said after this one as they all sort of lost their heads. The man who didn't lose his head was Gareth Hall. I need to get pictures of this. Danny, give us a
14th.
rundown. Give us a rundown.
Starting 14th on the grid, Gareth, of course it had to be him winning. Then we have Casper in P2, Khalifa rounding off the podium in P3, Jake in P4, then Pete in P5, Kyle in P6, joined by Ben in P7. Then we have Jordan in P8, Kieran in P9, Mike in P10, Ben Shaw in P11, Arnaud in 12th, Yuri in 13th,
Danny,
Sully, yep.
The rest don't matter. They're too far down. We've got to talk about this. Gareth Hall, P1, knocks Khalifa out of the club card shootout, which means Ben Harrett beating Jordan on the line there for P7s. It's Ben Harrett versus Gareth next week in Austria for the club card shootout and an extra 6 playoff points. Unbelievable scenes, and I'm sure there's going to be a few penalties added after that, but something you can't take away is the victory that Gareth Hall fully and rightfully deserves. What a race. Fantastic stuff. And that is JACKOCAR at its absolute finest. And yeah, that's all I have for you, by the way. Anything to add, or are you quite happy, quite content with that?
I'm just still trying to compute what the hell happened in that last lap.
Okay, that's fine. We'll leave it at that then, folks. Join us on the 10th of October for the Kia Series, where it goes to Netherlands. Fortunately, I'll be on holiday in Zurich, so I won't have to race that awful track. And then the 12th of October, the Cup Series has its regular season finale in Austria. It's going to be Gareth versus Ben Harrett, and it's going to be Jake, Casper, Corey, Arnoud, all fighting for the regular season title. Have a good evening, everyone. Goodbye.
See you.